Hello students, once again I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to talk on English phonetics. More particularly, this class will deal with organs of speech. So friends, as you know, to produce various sounds, the nature has blessed us with different organs of speech. The organs of speech that the human body has can produce sounds, and altogether the various human body apparatus assisting to produce different sounds are called organs of speech. Speech is produced by the vocal organs. Every language has a definite set of speech sounds, and every sound can be described with reference to the vocal organs that is used to produce it. Actually, speech is produced by air from the lungs being processed and modified by all the speech organs above the lungs, like the glottis, pharynx, nose, tongue and lips. The individual sound is generally identified by the closure or narrowing of these organs. When we happen to produce any kind of sound, maybe from any language, this actually happens while producing different types of sounds. If we see the tongue as the active articulator, the place with which does not move can be called passive articulator. So in general, I would like to say there are two types of articulators as such. One, the active articulator, and two, the passive articulators. So tongue is one of the most flexible active articulator. Anyway, the labels refer to the place where the closure or the narrowing occurs, which means that the name normally refers to the passive articulator. In fact, without all these articulators, we will not be able to produce any type of sound. Only the active articulators seem to be actively involved in the process of making sounds, whereas the passive articulators, which do not make any major movement, still they participate in the process of articulation. Anyway, let us focus now on the various organs of speech. Look at this slide. This image will define 17 different types of organs of speech that the human body has. In the numerical order, I have specified all these things on the diagram here. The human organs of speech are the nasal cavity, nose, lips, upper lip and lower lip, teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth, tip of the tongue, the entire blade of the tongue also, that has the front of the tongue, middle of the tongue and back of the tongue, and you also find the root of the tongue as well. You have the alveolar ridge or teeth ridge. You have the palates, hard palate and soft palate both, entire oral cavity, velum, uvula, pharyngeal, epiglottis, the vocal cords, larynx and glottis. So these are the various organs of speech which are actively participating in the process of making different sounds. Just for your better understanding, this slide will give you the clear picture of human vocal cords, because all these sounds are created mainly from the vocal cords. You have two images within the same image here. The first one, vocal cords which are wide apart from each other, whereas the second one is pointing out the glottis, and epiglottis, vocal cords, glottis wide apart, glottis closely together. This can be the description of this particular image. So friends, now we will focus on the organs of speech. In fact, the organs of speech can be studied under three different systems, and these systems are called speech mechanism. You have articulatory system, phonatory system, and respiratory system. Let us have a detailed discussion on the first one, that is articulatory system. If you see this diagram here, couple of diagrams are shown on the screen. This will make your point clear as far as the speech mechanism is concerned, and more particularly the articulatory system is concerned. This articulatory system in the human body comprises of pharynx and oral and nasal cavities. The chief articulators in this system are lips, upper lip and lower lip, teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth, hard palate, soft palate, velum, uvula, and the tongue. In fact, the tongue has three different parts: the blade of the tongue, that has the tip of the tongue, front of the tongue, and back of the tongue also. So whenever we talk about the articulatory system, this articulatory system comprises of pharynx, oral and nasal cavities. So that's why this particular speech mechanism is called articulatory mechanism or articulatory system. Now we will talk about the second mechanism, which is called phonatory system or phonatory mechanism. What is this phonatory system? Actually, phonatory system consists of trachea and larynx. We have the vocal cords and the glottis within, and this larynx is having this pair of vocal cords and glottis. If you minutely study the diagram or the image provided on the screen, you will come to know about the various organs of the vocal cords and various aspects of the vocal cords also. So this larynx has the pair of vocal cords where the production of sound is generally created. Then you have the third system, that is respiratory system. As you know, without respiration we cannot survive, and that is a very continuous process that happens very naturally day and night. This respiratory system comprises of lungs and bronchial tubes. So of course the respiration happens through the nasal cavity, sometimes through the mouth cavity also, but that is happening through the bronchial tubes, and then the air from the atmosphere is sucked inside the lungs and again released. So this system is called respiratory system, that basically comprises lungs and bronchial tubes. So these are the speech mechanisms as such. and they are very much instrumental in the study of English phonetics. Now, I would like to talk about three subfolds of English phonetics. Just before I told you about the speech mechanism, now I am going to talk about the subfields of phonetics. What are these subfields? Because phonetics or phonology as a whole is a very vast area of study. And when we try to segregate this phonetics as a realm of study or as a vast area of study, we come to conclusion that there are three subfields of phonetics. 1. Articulatory phonetics, 2. Acoustic phonetics, and 3. Auditory phonetics. What do you mean by articulatory phonetics? Articulatory phonetics is the study of how the human vocal organs produce sounds. Number 2, acoustic phonetics is the study of the sound waves produced by the human vocal apparatus. 3, auditory phonetics is the examination of how the speech sounds are perceived by the human ear. So probably you might have also understood to some extent certain images I have associated with all these 3 points, that is articulatory phonetics, acoustic phonetics, and auditory phonetics. So these are the 3 subfields of English phonetics. Now we will try to learn various aspects of English phonetics and phonology. Just before I talked about articulatory phonetics, acoustic phonetics, and auditory phonetics. Let us try to understand in different terms what do you mean by articulatory phonetics and how does it describes in the field of English phonetics in general. Articulatory phonetics describes how vowels and consonants are produced or articulated in various parts of the mouth and throat. So probably you might have understood now, this articulatory phonetics is mainly focusing on how the sounds are produced. We have vowels and consonants and how these sounds are articulated or produced in various parts of our mouth cavity and the throat also. Then we have the second one, that is acoustic phonetics. Acoustic phonetics is a study of how speech sounds are transmitted. When sound travels through the air from the speaker's mouth to the listener's ear, it does so in the form of vibrations in the air. And this acoustic phonetics is mainly focusing on the study of speech sounds created by the speaker and then how they are transmitted to the listener. The third one, that is auditory phonetics. Auditory phonetics is a study of how speech sounds are perceived by the listener. That basically looks at the way in which the listener's brain decodes the sound waves back into the vowels and consonants originally intended by the speaker. So these are the 3 different aspects of English phonetics and phonology. Now we have a few very highlighted bulleted points over here for discussion. Actually, phonetics is of course a very vast area of study, and we have to have a larger perspective to learn phonetics of any language. and that generally comes under linguistics, or else you can also call it phonetics or phonology, is the another branch of the study of linguistics. So another branch of linguistics known as phonology is also closely associated with phonetics. This is also you can define. So as you know, phonology deals with the way speech sounds behave in particular language or in languages. So here this focuses on the way languages use difference between sounds in order to convey differences of the meanings between the words. So probably you might have got what exactly I mean to say in this respect. Let us have the further discussion in detail so that the point will be made very clear. The actual sound produced, such as a vowel or a consonant sound, whatever it may be, is called a phone. Right in the beginning, in the previous session, I told you this phone is a Greek word that means a sound. So here we have vowel sounds and consonant sounds. So all theories of phonology hold that spoken language can be broken down into a string of sound units, means phonemes. And this is how is the major concern of phonology as a field of study. Now, let us continue with the same concept. Just before I said or I pronounced a word phoneme. What do you mean by a phoneme? A phoneme is the smallest distinctive sound unit of a language, whether it is English, Marathi, Hindi, whatever language that you study. That language has the smallest distinctive unit of sound that is called a phoneme. So here we need to distinguish one word from the another in the given language, and that is all possible when we study all these words and the pronunciation of the words in association with the formation of phonemes. This means changing a phoneme in a word produces another word which has a different meaning. So let us try to clarify this particular concept. I have taken a couple of examples to make the point clear. In the pair of words, of course minimal pairs, couple of words are there, cat and bat. The distinguishing sounds in these two words are k and b. K is also a phoneme, and of course b is also a phoneme. The phoneme is an abstract term actually, a speech sound as it exists in the mind of the speaker, and it is specific to a particular language. A phoneme may also have several allophones related to sounds that are distinct but do not change the meaning of a word when they are interchanged. The sounds corresponding to the letter T in the English word tea and the letter T in the English word trip are not in fact quite the same. They do differ to some extent. So, the position of the tongue is slightly different, which causes a difference in the sound detectable not by the human ear cavities but by an instrument called speech spectrograph. You can see the image of this particular machine available for medical purposes, and thus The t in tea and the t in tree are allophones of the phoneme t. I hope you might have understood what exactly I mean to say. So, altogether I can say phonology is the link between phonetics and the rest of linguistics. So, please try to understand that. Phonology is the link between phonetics and the rest of linguistics. Only by studying both the phonetics and the phonology of English, it is possible to acquire a full understanding of the use of sounds in English speech. So, that is all from my end as far as organs of speech are concerned. So, friends, in the next lesson you will learn speech sound system of English language. Thank you very much.